That's absolutely priceless, isn't it? It's so Bodge. It's Bodge right up and down. The problem is not that the public has an issue with Boris Johnson. The problem is that the public are tired of hearing criticism of Boris Johnson. Who the hell do you think is doing all the criticism, Bodge? The public. Get out, we said. Oh, all right, then I'll stay for another 2 weeks, he said. It's like the house guest from hell. Right, some texts and emails and such from last night. Austin emails, I'm curious why Michael Fabricant is such a loyal fan of Bodger, and I think I've worked it out. He's his first love child. Well, the hair's the same, but who's the daddy? I mean, which one's older? How old is Michael Fabricant? I mean, if he was a tree, we could cut him in half and count the rings. But you're not allowed to do that because of the Human Rights Act. Thank goodness that tetchy angular humanoid Dominic Deckchair Raab is doing something about that.
My name's Dominic Raab, and I'm a Tory. I don't support the Human Rights Act, and I don't believe in economic and social rights. My name's Dominic Raab, and I'm a Tory.
Yeah, you had me at I'm a Tory. You didn't have to put the rest of it on. Yeah, we get it. Andrew in Herne Hill says, if Boris won't change psychologically, then perhaps a real psychologist can declare Boris unfit for office on the grounds of insanity. Insanity, Bodge. So this is that story. Boris Johnson today played down the Tories' bruising double by-election defeat as backbench rebels plot a fresh bid to oust him amid growing concerns over his premiership. Well, the growing concerns are that they're all going to lose their jobs. They're not really remotely bothered about about how he's doing, other than how it affects them personally. I mean, it's not like they're doing it for patriotic reasons. They're not running the country for the benefit of the people of the country. They're running the country for the benefit of the people that are running the country. It is reported that the Prime Minister took personal responsibility for humbling losses in Tiverton and Wakefield. No, he didn't. He said the votes gave the public a safety valve of letting off at governments. Yeah, you know what? Yelling at someone to get out is not letting off steam. It is literally wanting them to get out. You don't have to read between the lines. Just read the lines. Budge claimed voters were fed up with hearing about how he had stuffed up in recent months. Like, that's the problem. Yeah, we're just so bored of all these people criticising you, Budge. If only you could just brush them aside. Or, here's a novel thought. Maybe just do less that makes people criticise you. Have you considered that? No. Johnson claimed voters were fed up of hearing about how he had stuffed up in recent months and insisted, if you're saying you want me to undergo some sort of psychological transformation, that's not going to happen, he said. No, there's nothing wrong with him psychologically. Ain't that right, Budge? That's, yes, very good. Car noise. And as for that line about the voters being fed up hearing how he's stuffed up, that's right, we are tired of hearing about that. Maybe you could do less of it, rather than carrying on regardless and telling us that we are no longer bothered by him and what he does. How about you let us decide who and what we're bothered by? And the harumphing Bufton Tuftons of the 1922 committee, that lot, they run the rule over party confidence votes. Anybody have any confidence in the current Premier?
No.
Not really. Only he does. He has 100% confidence in himself at all times. He's practically perfect in every way. He just gazes upon his reflection in the mirror and thinks, wow. The PM suffered a poll, a party conference poll earlier in the month, and he won, but not by an amount which means that he actually won. 41% of blue seats in the House didn't back him. And if you take out the ones that rely on him for extra money, honey, It was something like 3/4 of the MPs who expressed a preference said, would you just please go? And all he heard was, welcome, come back in. I mean, delusional doesn't come into it. You just run out of words, really. I've gone through all of my emotions. The 41% of blue seats in the House didn't back him. And under current committee rules, another referendum on the leader cannot be held for another year. Hey, Conservative Party members, do you think there'll be an actual Conservative Party in another year?
You're better informed than I am. I don't know anything.
No, he doesn't know anything. That goes without saying. But I don't mind if you remind us at regular intervals.
I don't know anything.
Pardon?
I don't know anything.
What's that again?
I don't know anything.
He doesn't know anything. The Prime Minister spoke to Sky News and asked about his comments on Friday that he expects voters to beat him up. He said, well, I was speaking metaphorically. Well, I'm not sure about that. Let's have a poll. Anybody want to beat him up? He said, I was speaking metaphorically, and what I mean is that when you're the leader of a country, in good times and in bad, you have to think about the criticisms that you get. Good times? When were they? He said, so what I'm saying is politics is about allowing people to have the democratic safety valve of letting off at governments. Not letting off like that. Oh, come on. Head out of the gutter, please. He says, but then the job of a leader is to say, well, what is the criticism that really matters here? He just doesn't hear it, does he? Any negative comment about him, he just doesn't hear. It's like he has selective deafness. And he defended the impact of his own behaviour on voters, insisting that people want to hear less about the things that he stuffed up and more about the government's agenda. What agenda? This man is deluded. He's had a lifetime of being hailed as some sort of genius. Someone special, a golden boy, to be revered. To the point now that he's so spoiled, he only hears cheers even when the crowd is going... He's like the house guest who never leaves. Even when you open the door for him and throw his bags out in the street. Thanks, Bodge, you've delighted us enough.
Bye-bye.